Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the Tyre Shredders Racing. This is their Touring Car Championship run on a Sunday night. We've got 3 20-minute races for you, and for those who play the game on a regular basis, you will see by the track map in the right hand corner, or even just looking at the track, you will notice that we're in Switzerland at the fictional track of Deep Forest. Now we're on the reverse circuit, but a little bit more about the track in a second. A couple of things I want to go through. First of all, we're just going to have a rundown of the table so far. Now I've joined the party a little bit late, and we are now at round 7. So after 6 rounds, the table at the top 5 anyway, look like this. So in 5th is Jay Davis on 158 points. 4th is Warthog on 166 points. 3rd is Chris R on 242 points. 2nd is Racing Sim 6 on 245. And topping the table at the minute is Matty Cake. What a fantastic name for Matty Cake. Is on 341 points. So that's the top 5 in the table. As I say, after 6 rounds, I'm a bit late to this one. So we are at round 7, and as I've already mentioned, we're at Deep Forest. The track itself, I love this track. A lot of people love this track. 2.6 miles, 18 turns. If you look at some track guides, they'll give you 15 turns, because I think on this particular one, the reverse track, I think turns 2, 3 and 4 are probably not used or mentioned, but we're going with the 18 turns because that's the track map I've got. So yeah, great track, 2.6 miles, 18 turns ahead of us, and as I say, 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is there's only 8 on the grid, but I'm sure we're in for some great racing. We're going to have a grid walk just to get a bit of a closer look at the cars. If I can get the damn thing to work. It did this to me the other day, but we're there now. So on pole position now, the positions on the grid have been sorted from the order they are in the league table, if that makes sense. Well, it does to me. So Matty Cake is on pole. He's in the WRX, Subaru WRX. Not going to be words out this morning. 2nd on the grid is Racing Sim 6. No, yes he is. I'm looking at 2 different tables. Sorry about that. Racing Sim 6 is 2nd on the grid. 3rd on the grid in the Sylvia is Chris. Looking fantastic, actually, that the livery on there. And I think Chris did it himself as well. So yeah, looking pretty damn good. Is Chris in 3rd. 4th is Colesberg in the Genesis, the G70. These are all Group 4 cars, by the way. 5th is Jay Davis in the BMW, the M4, a version of the Laser Tools livery. Looking pretty cool there as well. Also in the Genesis on 6 on the grid is Cy. Then we've got Corky in 7th. He's in the Mazda 3. And all the way down in 8th is Bold 2 Drippy, another fantastic name. Not much livery going on there, so I don't know if it's just not turned out for this replay, or that's how he just wants the car to look. But the car's on the grid, that's the main thing. So that's the grid for this particular race. We'll get these guys underway. And we'll have a chat as we are going along. So we'll get these lights out. We've got 5 lights on. Oh, a bit of a false start there from Cy. He got that a bit wrong, didn't he? And then stalled, I think, which has now dropped him all the way down near the back. He's in 7th, just ahead of Corky. No, Corky's got by him, so a bad start from Cy. But Matty Cake takes us through the first of these few turns up towards well, I call it turn 1, but it's actually turn 5, and it's this really tight right hand hairpin. Now this is the reverse way around this track. I find this a lot more trickier than the other way around. A lot of people like this. I personally don't, but a lot of people do it. It's very quick track, and very difficult this way round. So we'll see how these guys get on as Matty Cake takes us through the tunnels and down towards turn 9 for the first time. He's got Racing Sim still tucked up behind him. Colesberg in third. Sai has made his way up to fourth, so good recovery from Sai after that false start. Got himself up into fourth in the Genesis. Oh, and he's just picked up a penalty as well. So this really, he was had a good bad start, then he recovered, and then he's picked up a penalty. So a bit of a mixed start for Sai. Chris, well, he's dropped himself down to fifth, so obviously something's happened there with Chris. We missed that, sorry about that. He's been followed by Bold 2 Drippy. I'm just going to call him Drippy if that's alright, if you don't mind. I think we had this problem during the week as well. I didn't quite know what to call him. Bold 2 or Drippy, but we're going to go with Drippy as the two Sylvias now go side by side along this straight. 765 metres this straight from the exit of turn 18 down towards the entry of turn 1. Almost 3 wide there, but Chris manages to just get ahead of Drippy and Corky. And then we've got Jay Davis in the BMW at the back, so all still pretty bunched up really. No gaps appearing. The racing seems to be somewhere in the middle. Chris is involved in this. He's just sitting behind Racing Sim at the minute, but they're all very bunched up as they emerge from the tunnel. Excuse me. Emerged from the first tunnel into the second tunnel. Chris has now made his way up into second. Matty Cake though, he's long gone. He's up the road and away and not looking back at all. He's having a fantastic race, is Matty Cake, but this is where the action seems to be happening at the minute. Chris in second, then we've got Drippy in third. He's been followed by Racing Sim. Colesberg in fifth. Sai down in sixth now. Seventh actually. He's having a bit of a battle with Corky as they go through the technical section of the track. The S's, turns 14, 15 and 16. But Sai now down in seventh with Jay Davis picking up a penalty as well. Only half a second, but it's still a penalty. And we just saw Corky kicking up quite a bit of dirt and dust there on the entry into this final turn 18. Oh, and we've had a pit stop already, so Matty Cake is in. He's on the medium tyres. He's had enough of those already, so he's going to swap them over. It is mediums and soft tyres can be used. So we'll have a look at the tyres. Chris has now taken up the lead. He's on the medium tyres, although he's got Drippy all over the back of him. The two Sylvias battling it out there for P1 as Chris goes deep into that turn. Boldy takes the tighter corner. To tell you what, let's jump on board with Racing Sim as we go into the tunnel, and we'll have a look at the two guys up ahead having a bit of a scrap. Nothing behind, so no pressure for Racing Sim. Sai's the closest to him in fourth, but he's still a little way back as we head down towards turn 9. Chris still out in front. Drippy in second as Racing Sim decides he fancies P2 now. Just letting Drippy know he's there, just appearing in his mirrors. Very technical part of the track there. It's not easy to overtake, but Racing Sim trying to get that car on the inside of Drippy, but Drippy keeps slamming the door shut on him. Around turn 11, 12, 17. I'm looking at the map the wrong way around. It always confuses me, this track, when you go to the reverse. Through turn 18 then goes the three of them. Chris still out in front, Drippy in second, Racing Sim in third. Sai has caught him right up now though, so all that battling through that S section has slowed these guys down at the front. So Sai, well, bit of an up and down race so far, and we're only on lap 4. A bad start, good catch up, then a penalty, then drop down again, then he's back up again. Needs to take a few deep breaths, just settle into this race. Still bunched up though. Let's have a look, see where Matty Cake is. Now Matty Cake has already made a pit stop and he's come out onto the medium tyres now. So that's him, I would imagine, done for pit stops. He's just got to catch everybody else up. He did open up a gap, didn't he, at the beginning? So I am expecting him to catch the rest of the pack. Obviously they've all got to make a pit stop, and you can see he's already got a purple sector. So yeah, I'm expecting Matty Cake to get right back up there amongst the leaders. Talking of the leaders then, Drippy has managed to get in front of Chris, and he's opened up a little bit of a gap as well. Only a couple of car lengths, but it's a gap nevertheless, and Chris has got some defending to do from Si. Now Si in that Genesis all over the back of Chris, putting him under a lot of pressure, trying to force a mistake from him. Racing Sim in the WRX just sitting behind Si as well. This really is still very close, and anybody could be on the podium at the minute. We are only, well, just approaching 7 minutes into this race, so still quite a way to go. Some pit stops ahead as well. Oh, we've got a little bit of lag kicking in there from Jay Davis. It's either that or one of the wheel nuts is loose. Probably a bit of lag as Jay Davis looks to make a move on Corky. You can see Matty Cake's already catching up to the back of the pack. So he is going for it. Fastest lap at the minute, Matty Cake, 128.1. So he's definitely on a mission, isn't he? Corky just allowing Colesberg to get up the inside of him. So Colesberg moves up into 5th, just sitting behind Racing Sim. Corky now drops down to 6th. Although he's going to be looking at taking that P5 away from Colesberg again. Jay Davis still sitting in 7th with Matty Cake. Well, he's right up the back of them now, isn't he? And already looking to get by Jay Davis, and he does so. So Matty Cake already up to 7th. It's only took him, what, 2 laps to catch up after that. But, oh, and somebody's gone off. It's Chris. Let's just go and have a look and see what's happened. Chris is in P2. And as we're coming around turn 13 into turn 14, now I'm not sure if there was a bit of a bumper kiss there from Racing Sim through the technical section. Oh, again, the back end just comes round on him, and unfortunately Chris, a couple of kisses with barrier, and finds himself down in 8th. That is so unlucky. Now you've got to get that car turned around, Chris, facing the right way, and off we go again. So Chris has now got it all to do. Colesberg dives into the pits. Now will Chris do the same? He's got damage at the front, he's got damage at the back. No, Chris has decided he's going to stay out. Colesberg changing his tyres. So Drippy out in front. A little bit of breathing space back to Si now that Chris has gone. So Si takes up P2 in that Genesis, with Racing Sim 6 just sitting behind it in 3rd. Then we've got a bit of a gap back to Matty Cake and Corky, who are now going side by side as they emerge from tunnel 1 into the 2nd tunnel and down the hill towards turn 9. Matty Cake tries to position himself on the inside, but Corky shuts the door on him there. Although, oh, Corky goes a bit deep. Matty Cake takes the tighter line and now moves up into 4. So great racing from Matty Cake. He's definitely on a mission, isn't he? And wants to get himself back up into the lead of this race. Not a lot Corky could do about that. Corky into 5th. He's coming under attack from Jay Davis now, as Jay Davis tries to get on the inside of Corky. As we're going through turns 14 and 15, Corky's still just managing to hold on to that 5th position. Got some defending to do though, because I think Jay Davis fancies this. As we come down towards turn 18, it's all about the exit from this turn as you start on up the hill. Now it is Mazda power against the BMW power. The BMW will definitely be in the slipstream, but Corky picking up a bit of a slipstream as well from Matty Cake just ahead of him. So it probably cancels itself out, so it is now just down to the raw power, and it does look like Jay Davis may have a little bit of lag there. The car is just sort of bobbing and weaving all over the place. unless that's just his style of driving. I don't know some of these guys, so it may just be the way he drives. Sure it isn't. So let's just go back up to our current race leader, Drippy, in the Sylvia, and he's looking pretty comfortable at the minute, isn't he? Now things have settled down a little bit. He's got himself a decent gap back to Si. He's got Racing Sim chasing him down, although there is a couple of car lengths gap between the two of them. The Genesis actually quite a nice car to drive. I had a go in it a couple of weeks ago in one of the dailies, and I was quite surprised at how it handled, actually, considering that the GR3 version is a bit of a monster, and it's very difficult to drive. The Group 4 version, not too bad, but same could be said for the Subaru as well, the WRX, another fantastic handling car that Racing Sim is in, and Racing Sim, if he looks in his mirrors, in fact will do exactly that. Let's go on board, with Racing Sim, and we have a look in the mirrors and we can see Matty-Cake chasing us down. So Matty-Cake, having already made a pit stop, has made his way back up to 4th, and he's going to be looking at putting Racing Sim 6 under a bit of pressure as they approach turn 5. Oh, it's Si. Now we're going to go back and have a look at that, shall we? It looked like Si got that completely wrong. Goes through oh, he just took too much grass, didn't he? It's just took too much grass, and that's completely unsettled the car into turn 5. He did well, some fantastic car control actually. Did really well to keep it on the tarmac and not lose a spot either. So well done to Si for that. But that has cost him a few tenths, as Racing Sim is allowed now to get a lot closer to him. So we're starting to spread out just a touch now. Matty-Cake still not being able to make any more progress. I thought he might have been a bit closer to Racing Sim, but maybe he's just taking his time. He knows the guys in front have got a pit. Jay Davis, he's moved up into 5th. Then we've got quite a gap then back to Corky, so I'm not sure if Corky's had a bit of an issue, but there is a bit of a gap now between Jay Davis and Corky. Colesberg sitting in 7th. Having a bit of a lonely race. He needs to start taking a few risks, I think, if he wants to catch up to the back of Corky. And then we've got Chris, after his spill a few laps ago, he's still down in 8th. It looks like he's done another bump as well, because the damage is still there, unless the damage is heavy, which means that these cars are fitted with nanobots that actually self-repair the car unless you put the heavy damage on and it switches them off. If that's the case, then Chris is going to have to come into the pits to get that damage repaired. And just looking at the length of time the damage is on, then I would definitely say the nanobots have been put back in their box and put to sleep. So Chris will have to make a pit stop to get that damage sorted. Somebody who isn't having any problems at the minute is Drippy, currently our race leader. Looking down at the time, we're just past the 13.5 minute mark, so 6.5 minutes to go. Now I don't know if it's a mandatory pit stop. I would imagine it is, and if that's the case, then Drippy needs to come in. He's on the soft tyres at the minute. Si also on the soft tyres in the Genesis. Things just calming down a little bit now. Oh, Si decides to have a bit of a swipe at the barrier there, but still facing the right way. Matty-Cake has now moved up into 3rd. Corky 4th. Colesberg 5th. So it must have been Jay Davis has had a bit of a problem somewhere along the lines, because he was a bit further up the field than that. Maybe the wheel is really giving him some problems. Now is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. So Jay Davis is into the pits. He's going to have a change of tyres and get some damage repaired. Racing Sim 6, now he's down in 6th. Chris in 7th, and Davis, as we've seen, already into the pit. So back up to our race leader. Sai really does seem to be struggling with that turn, doesn't he? At turn 5, that's the second time that he's gone a little bit sideways into the entry of turn 5. It is a very tight, very tricky turn to get right, and you do have to slow down a bit more than you think you should. But he's still sitting in second, his size, so no real complaints from him, I'm sure. Matty Cake up to 3rd. I'm sure it won't be long before he takes over the lead of this race, although he's got some damage at the back, so he may have had a bump or a nudge from somebody else. Corky in 4th, Carlsberg still in 5th, and it looks like Carlsberg and Corky are going to have a bit of a battle for P4. The Genesis against the Mazda, and we can just see Racing Sim there coming around the corner, so he wants to join in this party as well. He is gaining with every turn. We'll jump on board with Carlsberg as we're chasing Corky down towards the final turn. This right-hander. Oh, we can see already Racing Sim is alongside Carlsberg, and Racing Sim just gets his nose in front as they go down this 765 metre straight into turn 1, and Racing Sim just gets himself into P5 just ahead of Carlsberg. Now this is where you have to be a little bit careful with the brakes into turn 5. Oh, right. Carlsberg gets a much better exit and manages to get P5 away from Corky. Corky fighting back though as they go through the tunnels. Corky tucks right underneath the rear of Carlsberg car. He pulls out to try and make the move. Now Corky's got his nose in front as they head down towards turn 9. Corky on the inside. Can he slow it down enough? Carlsberg going for the cutback. Great move, Carlsberg on the inside now. Oh, a bit of a touch there, but nothing too serious. Fantastic racing from those two guys there. Corky just got in front of Carlsberg. Carlsberg went for the switchback, got the job done, and moves back up into P5. In the meantime, Racing Sim into P4, and on the chase, and after Matty Cake in 3rd. He in turn is chasing Side Down in 2nd. And we've got Drippy out in, well, he's out in the lead by quite a way. Look, you can just see Si coming over the hill there. Now we've got 2.5 minutes to go of this race. So maybe the pits aren't mandatory. Maybe they are optional. I don't know. I've not been given that information. So still in 2nd. Let's see if he manages to get this corner right this time. Well, still wasn't perfect, was it? I think he's going to be glad to see the back of that turn. Everything else seems okay as we see Corky. I think it was Corky and Carlsberg, yeah, having another little scrap as they exit turn 5. Chris has now got himself up into 7th and chasing down the guys in front of him, and Jay Davis down in 8th. So back up to the race leader now. Drippy has got quite a big gap actually. He's going around turn 13 and 14 while the rest of the guys are just coming into turn 11, and you'll have to excuse the noise of clattering outside. The bin men have just decided to turn up at not the best of moments, so if you can hear that, I do apologise. Now we're just approaching the last minute of this race, and just on a look, see if Drippy's coming in. Drippy is not coming in, so maybe the pits are not mandatory, and he's just looking after his tyres, and if that's the case then he's going to win by quite a margin, isn't he? So he's still in 2nd. Matty Cake is a lot closer but has picked up a penalty, so Matty Cake with that half a second penalty is going to knock him back a little bit in his campaign to take P2 away from Si. Racing Sim 6 still sitting in 4th. Corky and Carlsberg, these two have been at it for the last few laps, haven't they? As they come down towards turn 5, this is the where it all counts. It's the exit on this one. Oh, and Chris decides he wants a bit of this as well. So Carlsberg taking that tighter line again. Corky going a little bit deep, which has allowed Carlsberg through. That's what happened last time. But this time we've got Chris involved in the mix as well, as Corky now pulls alongside Carlsberg as they go into the second tunnel and head down towards turn 9. Still side by side, Corky on the inside though, and has got the better line. Hard on the brakes. Now can Corky get the car slowed down and around that turn? He can, and it looks like Chris has actually got on alongside. Let's have a look. He snuck up inside of Carlsberg there. Did Chris? And well, it wasn't a very good angle, was it? Let's have a proper look, shall we? Now Carlsberg and Corky having a bit of a door bashing session and a fight down towards this turn. Corky going down the inside. Carlsberg, oh he did, he went very, very deep. That's what's allowed Chris through. We didn't see it in the angle before, but yeah, Carlsberg went a bit too deep into turn 9, which allowed Chris through. And yeah, Carlsberg's picked up half second for his trouble. So let's just go back up to the top as we see Drippy slide drift around that turn. He looks very happy with the win, doesn't he? A great win for Drippy then by quite a margin. Sai around turn 18 along with Matty Kate. Now Matty Kate, I'm sure that penalty will equate to a second, but Sai goes across the line in second. Matty Kate is third. Racing Sim is fourth. Corky fifth. Carlsberg sixth. Chris is going to cross the line in seventh, with Jay Davis is going to finish in eighth. Now although Matty Kate got that penalty, and I'm sure it equates to half a second, equates to a second on the final lap, then I still think Si managed to sorry, Matty Kate, yeah he did, he managed to get third. So that was race 1. Hopefully you can join me for race 2 back here in Switzerland. I shall catch you all very shortly.